World-class performance by the manager. He deserves a new contract today. Why are we waiting? Why don't we just give him a contract before he leaves the stadium? But like I said, guys, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. 2 games remaining and we will get our club back. 2 games remaining and we wouldn't have to watch a team without any style of play, without motivation, without desire, without any idea of what to do on the pitch. 2 games remaining, guys, and we're back. But anyways, let's get into it. 3-0 at home to Tottenham Hotspurs. But what are they? Who are they to come to us at Old Trafford, dominate, win 3-0, and still they should have scored way more? Who are Tottenham Hotspur to deserve that title? Who are Tottenham to play shit at Old Trafford and still bash us 3-0? Before we get to all that, let's get to Captain fucking Marvel. Bruno Fernandes. Let's address this right now. Anybody who's been telling me that he has determination, that he has desire, that he bleeds red for United, please tell me, where was he today? Didn't we need him today? Wasn't today a must-win game? Wasn't today the game that should technically define Ten Hag's future? If he was pure United, wouldn't he have fought today? Wouldn't he have tried to give it his all? But where was he? Where was Bruno Fernandes when you need him? I keep going back to the same games again and again and again. Liverpool at Anfield, we lost 7-0 in 2023. What was he doing? He was moaning, he was whinging. When we needed a leader on the pitch, he was whinging. What happened the game before we played Liverpool at Anfield last season? Against Bournemouth, we were losing 3-0. He picked up an unnecessary yellow card when we were already losing 3-0. When the game was already gone, he picked up a yellow card on purpose, which was very much not necessary, so that he can miss the Anfield game. And I'm pretty sure there was a Man City game, he did the exact same thing. Do not let this guy escape. I don't think many of the fans understand how much of a negative influence this player is. His moaning and whinging has got to the other players. This is why our performance levels are so low. Think about it. You have a boss at work and he is meant to lead you. He's meant to lead your entire team. But now he's whining, or he has a negative mindset. He thinks, oh, I can't do this. We can't do this. We're going to fail with our project. What do you think is going to happen to the rest of the team when they're hearing that every single day? They're probably going to fail as well. It's common sense. This is why if you have a captain like Bruno Fernandes who keeps complaining, who keeps moaning, the rest of the team is going to end up moaning. The rest of the team is going to keep complaining as well instead of getting on with it and trying to win. Because let's get to this first of all. Yesterday, I saw Chelsea-Brighton. That first half was probably the most entertaining game I've ever seen. That was end-to-end stuff. Both teams, defensively, were absolutely trash. But offensively, quality was there. They were incisive with every single pass, which is what we are trying to do. Now you see this game, both teams were equally as bad as each other. Kulusevski should have passed to Brennan Johnson, was it, in the first half. When they were 1-0 up, they should have made it 2-0. And Brennan Johnson hit the post. And Spurs should have scored more like 5 or 6 or even 7 on a good day. But we still keep going back to the same style again and again and again. When will people realize people like Rashford, people like Bruno Fernandes, they are dragging the team so far back from what they could be? You take these players out, the team will transform. Because here's what I realized from today's game. Rashford has now become the new Bruno Fernandes, where occasionally he'll get a good cross in, occasionally he'll get a good shot in, a good goal in. But then for the rest of the game, he'll be dragging us far back. He'll be having a negative influence on the game. However, because he now gets GA, he's going to stay in the team. He was anyway like that, but there was still a bit of control to his play. So now Rashford has taken over the Bruno Fernandes role. And Bruno Fernandes has essentially become what Fellaini was to us all those years back. Just a negative influence, just doing nothing. And people I've seen already on Twitter saying that Bruno Fernandes slipped and that is why he got a red card. If you look back at it closely, you will understand Bruno slipped initially, and after he slipped, he pulled a leg out of nowhere. So 100% yes, he deserved the red card, and 100% yes, he let the team down. And what more do you say? It has been leading up to this moment for a very, very, very long time. All season, it has been leading up to this point. Anybody who tells me that they're surprised by this result, anybody who's insanely angry with this performance, you're just a liar, or you're probably Ten Hag in till today, in which case, I do not understand what you see in football or what you watch with football. Because if you were still Ten Hag in till today and now you change your mind, I ask you why. Why did you change your mind? What thing did you see so different from every other game? What is it that we lost 3-0 at Old Trafford? Well, that's happened many times before. I mean, we lost 7-0 to Liverpool. Don't forget that. It was under this very manager. We lost 7-0 to Liverpool. We lost 3-0. I know people forget about this. We lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth last season, which should have been 4, by the way, because there was a VAR check for the 4th goal and it was chalked off at the end. So we basically lost 4-0 to Bournemouth. We lost 7-0 to Liverpool, 6-3 to City, 3-0 to City last season as well. When all these results are piled up, and the fact that this was just in 2 seasons and a bit, that is concerning, isn't it? That should have been the first red flag if nothing else was triggering your mind. Isn't that bad enough? It could be so funny if Ten Hag does actually get sacked today. The fact that I was Ten Hag out from the last Spurs game last season in game week 2 to now ending it against Spurs as well. Spurs and United always have this sack battle going on every single time we play each other. Like, I remember once we had Ole against Nuno, and ultimately Nuno got sacked because we beat him 3-0, and then Ole got sacked a few weeks later. And now it was the Ange versus Ten Hag thing where who's going to get sacked first. Ange probably got some time. But one more thing to add on to that would be I'm welcoming Ange to United any single day. From what I've seen, from what Spurs were doing, the reason that Spurs could not deliver is not because of the system, it's not because of the tactics like what is the case with us. The problem is they don't have the quality players to finish or the quality players to make a difference, which we do have actually. So if Ange is actually given a chance to make a difference, the team could really transform. Because I'll be honest, with everything that's been happening, this team is not actually as bad as they look. All the mistakes, I know this seems very difficult to understand right now. The reason why we make individual errors, the reason why we make defensive mistakes, everything is actually because of the system in place. If the system was more coherent, if it was more organized, trust me, we wouldn't be seeing as many individual errors as we're seeing now. Because think about it, it's all human psychology. You give players confidence, they're probably not going to make silly mistakes. But if your entire team is letting you down, you're probably going to be low on morale as well. So if you're low on morale, you're more likely to make mistakes. Common sense. So just like that, you see, the reason that we're making mistakes like we're making is because the system is wrong for us. The system is not directed to win. And one more player I'd like to mention with speciality is Andre Onana. Yes, I made a video defending him, saying he's an underrated player at United, but this season has shown me that I was wrong. That he can't stop shots, and that's a big hindrance. As much as he's good on the ball, the fact that he can't stop shots, and it's a way that he's conceding as well. The goal against Twente was embarrassing. And some of the goals that we conceded today was just so cheap, which should be avoided. And I think it's time to again be in the market for a goalkeeper. We need to try signing another keeper, replace Onana as soon as possible. We need to get this guy out. I understand ball playing is an ability and all that. Maybe if we get a new manager in, which probably will be rude till the end of the season, maybe he can do something with the team. Maybe he can make Onana play better. So till then, I reserve complete judgment on him. But come on, at the end of the day, if a shot's coming at you, you should be able to save it if you're a half decent keeper, which he's not able to do. And now, one more player I'd like to mention is De Ligt. Yes, De Ligt is a good signing. Yes, he will be a good player for us in the future. I don't question that. But just like I said in the last match review, De Ligt is such a player that he's erratic, which can be positive or negative depending on who is your partner. And in the case of Lisandro, he's not very controlled. So his partner is not controlled. Now, when you have two erratic defenders, it does not work. So you need a balance. And when you don't have that balance, certain players are going to get exposed against certain teams. Teams like Tottenham, who are pressing us high, who are not letting us lay off any passes in the midfield or in the defense, they're going to expose you. And De Ligt, unfortunately, was exposed today because of his erratic behavior, because he lunges into challenges a little bit too early for my liking. And because of that, Spurs were able to exploit him. When he's back, whenever that is, maybe in November or December, Lenny Yoro has to start instead of Lisandro Martinez, offering De Ligt some help as well, and the much needed control that we will get in our defense. And yeah, pretty much our midfield was just non-existent. We did not know what to do with it. Spurs were able to master the high pressing ability. They were going at our midfield every single time they could, and they were winning the ball back. That is what gives me confidence with Ange. Because as much as we might say they were not finishing their chances, and yes, they did win 3-0, but still they weren't finishing their chances. Their midfield was coherent. They knew what they were doing. And that tells me that Spurs actually do have an identity. This is what we are lacking. And guess what? Ange is technically still on fraud watch at Spurs. But yet people were willing to give Ten Hag so much time because we drew to a Crystal Palace team who just lost to Everton yesterday. And now this is what I'm talking about. People have different standards, but remember, your standard should always be winning the Premier League. It's not finishing second, third, fourth. Top 4 is not a trophy, guys. Remember that. Top 4 is not a trophy. So at the end of the day, we lost 3-0. I'm tempted to say this could be it. This could be the day, either today, tomorrow, or day after, Ten Hag could be sacked. Because this is embarrassing. If not today, we have another chance. Porto coming up. Porto will most likely be a loss. And it's very sad to say, but I'm looking forward to a loss against Porto because think about it, it's not about just winning games because we can win games and we can mask a bad performance. What's more important is our long-term success. And what is the most important thing for our long-term success? It is the fact that this manager needs to leave. And what is the best thing to indicate that the manager is not good enough? It's accumulating losses. So yes, it might sound weird, but I'm counting on us losing against Porto and against Aston Villa. So if we can get those two done, I'm pretty sure international break, we come back after the international break, maybe with Ruud as our manager, the new spirit within us, and maybe we could go on a run afterwards. We have Brentford, we have West Ham, we have Chelsea. Difficult fixtures, yes, but with a new manager, you never know the players that he might pick. You never know the system he might implement, the confidence that the players might get. It could be fun because even Chelsea didn't take too long to click. So if we get a new manager in, things could just change in a moment. So let's hope for that. And anyways, that's United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3 at Old Trafford. Embarrassing performance. But again, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. See you all in the next one.